there is a component of the higher mind to the higher heart also. The higher heart is what these three beautiful signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces is all about. The Moksha signs. The Moksha in Vedic context means liberation. Now, one might ask the question, what am I liberating myself from and why? Those are the questions one must ask oneself. What is the essence of liberation? Well, as the Vedic texts are showing as per Vedic Astrology chart, what you can see here, once again the blue triangle on the screen, the three moksha signs, the number 4 Cancer, the number 8 Scorpio, and the number 12 Pisces. These three signs, if you see my earlier videos, I have classified Cancer as the flowing water, as the river flowing water. The number 8 sign Scorpio as still water, as a lake. Okay, these are the analogies which came to me. And the number 12 Pisces as the ocean, where it dissolves, where the ego dissolves into the greater whole of the ocean, where the river dissolves as the ocean. Okay, so these are the three emotional bodies which we have in the zodiac signs, the three emotional ascendants. We are talking about ascendants here, remember that. The signs will come in every chart, but ascendant is the most powerful as a life path, because the person is always having these energies occupying in their head. They're born with it. The soul is born with it, and we are talking about, well, soul evolution. So this will be the soul evolution point. Let's take number 4 first, the Cancer, the Sattvic Moksha point. Moksha in this, all these three signs is about connection with the heart, the evolution of the heart, the higher heart, you might say. The higher heart is what the water signs are about. The moksha is about connection with the heart, because the heart has no preferences. The heart does not like to exclude. So whatever you're trying to exclude or create separation from is what is bothersome for anyone, individual or as a collective. The heart only knows the sense of unity. It knows only the sense of oneness. So the recalibration and the higher evolution, the higher mind and the higher heart aspects is what is playing out in this water signs. Water is an emotional body. Guess what? 99% of our body is water, but let's not get into that. Sattva and moksha. Sattva meaning the highest point of the conceptual form of moksha, the conceptual point of emotion. Connection with the heart is what Cancer ascendant is born with, as you can see on the screen here. So connection with the heart is what they are born with. They are born with the flowing river. They are born with knowing who they are in their heart. The heart energy is very, very strong for the Cancerians as they are born. Okay? But just having a connect is not what they are here for. They need to ground it in some way, which are the other two signs are Tamas and Moksha. They are here to ground the higher heart in practicality. How does the Cancer ascendant do that? Well, you go to the 5th house once again. In the 5th house, they have Scorpio. They need to go dig deep. Scorpio is still water. Still water does not have anything going on the surface. It has everything going on inside, deep inside, going within. As they say, still waters run deep. This is what is Scorpio. Scorpio wants to go deep inside. It looks very still on the outside. It stands for the still water. It's still water. It is still emotion. But now it is wanting to answer the question for what, as you can say. Finding the core desire. You need to find your core desires. Simply making connection with the heart isn't going to solve the issue for the Cancer ascendant. They need to find their core desire, what they are here in this lifetime around to do. And if they focus their emotional body, emotional mind, the higher heart in that, they will graduate towards liberation of their ego, what they are seeking. They can give themselves to the world, which is the 9th house, which is showing up as Pisces. They can give themselves in service to the world, free of their ego, if they find this core desire. The water signs are quite mysterious because they are emotional body. You can't reason with these emotions. You have to work with them. Don't try to reason with them. It's not possible. You can't reason your heart from your mind. As we all know, it falls short. Because there is no sense, if you look at number 4, number 8 and number 12 here, there is no sense of grounding anywhere. In a sense, there is tamas, but what do I accomplish in the world? Well, they will accomplish things in the world provided they make connections in this way. It will appear to them in emotional body and then to the mind body. Okay? So the higher evolution, higher moksha point is achieved by letting themselves less egotistical. Ego will be there, but it can be moderated. It can be more for the collective rather than their selfish gains. This is how the Cancerians can make good leaders if they let go of their ego. Because if they are finding this core desire, I want to serve people, I want to be a politician, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be XYZ, they can make use of that knowledge, whatever they have learned in mainstream education, because mind is not their predominant thing. They have got it nailed. Now they need to work for the collective without attachment to ego. Their strive in life, in emotional body, will be to let go of the ego so that more of their heart energy can come out and play. And then it will feed back to connecting with the heart in a bigger way. And that will feed back, as you can see, back to increasing or finding new core desires. And then going forward again to letting go. So this circle of this triangle of emotion will feed unto itself through the lifetime of a Cancer ascendant. Okay, that's the first one of the water signs. The next one, the Scorpio, the silent one, the secretive one, the still water that runs deep. Now it's in the ascendant. So first they are asking always the question, what am I doing this for? For what am I doing this? Where is my desire? What do I really want to do in life? So Scorpio digs deep into everything that they touch in terms of core desire, because it's a moksha sign. It's tamas and moksha, so they want to ground it. They want to find it in maybe in physicality, maybe in connection with their spouse, maybe in connection with a cause, maybe in connection with law. These are all the things that Scorpio ascendants are good for. They make connect with law, they make connect with purpose, they make connect with leadership. All these kinds of things they are good for because they are tamasic sign. They are looking for their core desire and they make very good on it. They make good on their word. Because in the ninth house, ninth sign is in the second house. So they are very, very philosophical in their approach to things. That's what makes them powerful individuals. But anyway, how do these people find the core desires? They come to number 5, education house. Always you come back to number 5. We're looking at the blue triangle here, the self-feeding blue triangle, right? And the self-feeding triangle for the Scorpio ascendant is in the 5th house, tamas and moksha. So they need to liberate themselves from their egotistical needs. This is such stretch for the Scorpio because it comes right in the house of education. They need to get educated in whatever way that they are going in for, like mainstream education, but in a field that is more liberating for them. Liberation being the key word. I am not so much here as I am in the education that I'm doing, in whatever I'm getting educated in. It may be arts, fine arts, culture, it may be law, leadership, anything, management, anything. But you need to detach that ego factor here. And then and only then they will graduate towards sattva and moksha, the Cancer which appears in their 9th sign. Then they will connect with their heart. That finding core desire that they are seeking all their life will make a connection in the 9th house for them. When they are serving the collective, 9th house is about serving the collective, is about giving your personal learnt wisdom, heart energy, higher emotion, empathy, sympathy, all of that stuff. You need to give it out to the world as heart energy. So Scorpio, when it digs deep enough to core desires, what is it going to find? It's going to find its own heart. Isn't that beautiful? Now the last one of our water signs, the Pisces. The last of the fire signs, the ocean. Pisces is the ocean. It's the river dissolving into the sea, the ocean. So Pisces has by default got a sense of dissolving as a large body of water like ocean. Okay? Seas or the ocean. So the liberation of ego is by default in their mind. They feel a sense of dissolution. This is where all these empaths struggle with. Their sense of dissolved sense of ego in the collective. They are always constantly finding themselves all over. They are unable to draw boundaries between where they end and the other begins. This is why Pisceans have a tough time. So what do the Pisceans need to do? As Piscean Ascendant, remember, not the sun sign, the Piscean Ascendant needs to go towards finding the connection with their own heart, not the rest of the world. They are trying to get dissolved in the rest of the world, but where will they find their grounding? They need to learn to connect with their heart more. They need to connect with their own emotional body first. They need to educate themselves, learn whatever skills and crafts they are into, because it's emotion. It will be more like arts, music, crafts, and that kind of learning. If they learn with making a connect to their heart, then and only then they will evolve into the 9th house of selfless giving for the sake of finding core desire. They find their desires in the external world. If they do these two things, they are already not having too much of ego. They are already having a sense of being dissolved in the world. But if they make the connection at an individual point, the stretch for the Piscean emotional body is to go from being loose and airy-fairy in the sense of the world, emotional world, being a dissolved empath, and coming down to connecting with their own heart will lead them to finding their core desires, which is what? Now the Scorpio is in the 9th house, so they will serve the world. Maybe not so popularly because Scorpio is a secretive sign appearing in the 9th house, but they will do it one-on-one. Pisces is best focused on one-on-one things, not dissolving in the collective, because that will literally trigger them into other things. Okay? You're born with that, but you're trying to recalibrate by going one-on-one, going secretly, silently, one-on-one, using the Scorpio energy and finding each one's desire and taking them to that point of liberating ego. So it's a very great path for Pisceans, but very tricky. I wouldn't even say tricky. It's a very soft path to walk on with grounding, because the final path of grounding is tamas. They need to ground that. They will understand this tamas very well. They will understand it in their emotional body. As you can see, the first house has also got tamas energy, and the graduate point also has tamas energy. So they will understand this, whatever it means for them. Every Piscean ascendant will understand this. Like I said, it is difficult to encapsulate an emotional body in a mental kind of words that I'm using. I'm just using mental words here, but the water signs will understand this. They will understand it very well if they reflect on it emotionally. So all three water signs, the Moksha signs, the liberation signs, the Pisces, Cancer and Scorpio, if they are listening to this, they will understand that it is emotional body which is the liberation point. The emotion is the reception of everything that we are doing in the mental world. Using all the earth, air and fire signs, what are we trying to achieve? We are trying to finally make a connect with the emotional world. That's why Vedic Astrology has put this, in my opinion, as the Moksha sign, the liberation point. Once the entire emotional content is understood, that itself is liberating. That will free you from it. This is the final point of all experience, is in the emotional body. You might not remember anything that you did at the end of your life as tasks, but you will remember how it felt, because that is the liberation point. That's what you tried to achieve, the emotional content of your entire life. Okay? Take care, my beautiful water signs, and reflect on this with your emotional body. See if it makes sense to you. See if you can embrace it. And keep going forward.